Now that we've created and added our super elevation to the corridor, let's continue on and manipulate the corridor a little bit more. And this time we're going to create some additional parametric constraints to adjust some template values that we have assigned to the corridor right now. If you recall, we used parametric constraints to adjust our curb height in the driveway areas. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use some additional parametric constraints to transition our center turn lane pavement, as well as adjust our shoulder cross slopes and our ditch width on part of the project. If we look at the beginning of the project here in the 3D model, if you recall, when we dropped our template drop, we had a 2-lane section with a center turn lane. So effectively, we have 3 lanes here. What we want to do is we want to transition the center turn lane because the existing pavement or the existing road that's out there right now is just 2 lanes, so we're tying into that existing 2-lane road. So we want to transition from that just a 2-lane section into our full 3-lane section here. And we're going to do that just by using some simple parametric constraints to adjust our center turn lane width on the left and right hand side of the road. So I'm going to go in my cross section here and go to the very beginning of the project, station 50 plus 00. And you can see right now we have our center turn lane there, just 12 feet wide, and our other travel lanes, which are 12 feet wide. So we want to start from this point at station 50 plus 00. So we want to start off with basically no turn lane here in the center, and then we want to transition into the turn lane. Okay, and we're going to do that over a 200-foot station range. So we're going to start at 50 plus 00. We're going to go to 52 plus 00 to transition that center turn lane. So let's do that first. So we're going to go up to the corridor objects tool this time to create our parametric constraints, because I want to show you some other things that we can do with the corridor objects tool that may not be apparent to you. So let's go over here and move that over this way. And we're going to go over to the parametric constraint tool, and we can create parametric constraints right from the corridor objects dialog box. We can delete them, we can import them or export them. And there's also this little lock here, and what this lock does is it will what this lock does is it deactivates the corridor processing. Okay, sometimes when you're creating or making changes to the corridor, you don't want the corridor continually processing after every change that you make. So a lot of times it's good to toggle this off to deactivate the corridor processing, add all your changes in that you need to make, and then once your changes are added in, go back and press the lock to activate the corridor processing. So that's what we're going to do here when we add all these parametric constraints. We're going to add the parametric constraints and make sure that the corridor is unlocked so that it doesn't process as we're adding these parametric constraints. And that's mainly for like speed purposes and processing purposes. We don't want it to update every single time we make a change. So let's go in here and take care of my center turn lane transition here. So we're going to go up to the add new parametric constraint, and you'll see the dialog box pop up. And then our starting station for this center turn lane transition will be 50 plus 00, beginning of the project. The end station will be 52 plus 00, so key that in, press enter to lock in that value. And then our constraint label that we're going to modify is I have some constraint labels set up for the center turn lane width for the left and right side. So on the left side, it's called lane A width underbar L for the left side. The default value is set at 6. We're going to transition that from basically going from 0 to 6-foot width over that particular station range. And we're going to left click to accept the values. And then you'll see in the model, it's not going to update. Now it's not updating because I turned off the corridor processing. Now I added the parametric constraint label to the corridor, but we didn't update and make the corridor process yet. Now we'll do that in a little bit once we continue adding the rest of our parametric constraints to the model. So let's go and do the right side for the right lane. So again, the start station will be 50 plus 00, and 52 is our end station. And our parametric constraint for the right is just lane A with right. lane A width right, and again our start value will be 0.01, and our stop value will be 6. We'll left click to accept those values, and those get added to the dialog. Okay, so now we got those two parametric constraints created. That'll take care of our center turn lane width. Now the other thing I want to address is my ditch width here. You can see on in the cross section I got this 2-foot flat bottom ditch on both sides of the road, and you can see that in my 3D model as well. I want to change that to just be a V ditch. Once again, we have parametric constraints set up on our template so that we can adjust that ditch width. So we want that to be a V ditch, so we're just going to change that 2-foot ditch bottom width value to be 0 to form a V ditch. So let's go in here and again create some more parametric constraints to do that. Again, we're going to use those same station ranges, so we'll use 50 plus 0, 0 as our start, 52 plus 0, 0 as our end, and then the parametric constraint we're looking for is the ditch bottom left and right. So you can see here's my ditch bottom width left. We'll set that to be 0 for the start and stop value. I'll left click to accept through the heads up prompts, and then those get added to the list. And then again we'll do the same thing for the right side, their ditch bottom width on the right. Use our same start and stop values and stations. We just need to change our ditch bottom width parametric label for the right side, so we'll select the one for the right, set the values to 0, left click to accept, and now we have the ditch parametric constraints in our corridor objects dialog. So now let's continue on. What we want to do next, the final thing we want to do, is we want to adjust our shoulder cross slopes here so that they match closer to the existing pavement condition here at the beginning of the project. So we want to transition our cross slopes on our shoulder. So we want to go from our standard 4% cross slope to whatever this existing cross slope is here at the beginning of the project. So once again, we have some parametric constraint labels in our template to override our shoulder cross slopes. So to adjust the shoulder cross slopes, once again, we'll go up to add new parametric constraint. We're going to be using the same station ranges. And then now we're going to go find the shoulder cross slopes. You can see I have a shoulder slope left and right. So let's make sure we select the proper shoulder parametric here. So we'll go shoulder slope left first. And our start value is going to be 0.6%. And we're going to left click to accept through the heads up prompts. And then that'll get added to our corridor objects dialog. And then finally we'll add the shoulder slope for the right side. Start station 50 plus 0, 0. End station 52 plus 0, 0. And then our constraint label will be the shoulder slope on the right. Okay, so we select that one. It's going to be negative 0.6 to negative 4% on the right side for the shoulder slope on the right. Then left click through the heads up prompts, and then that will be added to our corridor objects list. Now, at this point, we haven't actually processed the corridor and applied any of these changes to the corridor. So that's what we want to do next. So when we started, we disabled the corridor processing by clicking the little lock here. And now to enable the corridor processing, we're going to go back up to the top and activate the corridor processing so the corridor updates. So I'm going to click on the little lock here, and it's going to go through and apply all those parametric constraints that we just created to the corridor. So again, I'm just doing this because a lot of times you don't want the corridor to keep updating every time you add something new to it. So that was the reason why I was using the little lock feature here to deactivate and activate the corridor processing. So now you can see we got our V ditches in our corridor. We have the center turn lane transitioning, and we also have our shoulder cross slopes matching a little bit closer to our existing pavement condition in the beginning of the project and transitioning through up to 52 plus 0, 0.